here looking live into the Quest airlock of the International Space Station, where NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover are preparing for today's spacewalk. The crew is running about 50 minutes ahead of schedule this morning. And as you can see here, NASA astronaut in the center of the screen, Victor Glover, is getting his SAFER installed by NASA astronaut Kate Rubins and JAXA, or Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, Soichi Noguchi. This will be Victor Glover's first spacewalk of his career after arriving aboard the SpaceX Crew Dragon Resilience with Mike Hopkins in November. During today's spacewalk, Hopkins and Glover will focus on completing cable and antenna rigging for the Bartolomeo Science Payloads platform outside of the European Space Agency Columbus module. The duo will also configure a Ka-band terminal that will enable an independent high-bandwidth communication link to European ground stations. After completing these upgrades on the Columbus module, Hopkins and Glover will remove a grapple fixture bracket on the far port truss of the station in preparation for future power system upgrades.
US EVA coal upgrades is going to begin with EV1 egressing the Quest airlock first. The crew is going to be bringing out with them the COLCA, which stands for the Columbus Ka-band antenna. This hardware is going to be installed on the Columbus module during this EVA. EV1 is going to translate out to the Columbus module via the translation path you can see here. And we'll need to set up a few things at the worksite before that installation. EV2 is going to translate to an external platform called ESP2, where he is going to be ingressing the SSRMS, the robotic arm. The robotic arm is going to be taking him over to the Columbus worksite with the COLCA. So the crew members are going to meet up at the worksite. They need to remove bolts that are on the Columbus panels. Where those bolts are removed is where the COLCA is going to be installed. So they work together securing COLCA to the Columbus module. Once it is secure, EV2 is going to route the cabling for that COLCA and plug it into the Columbus module. Meanwhile, EV1 is going to head to the Bartolomeo platform. So Bartolomeo is an external platform in which payloads can be installed. There are clamps that need to be opened up in order to remove the cabling that needs to get routed in order to activate the Bartolomeo platform. So the crew works together to get those cables routed and installed. EV1 also needs to remove another set of cabling that is going to hook up an antenna for Bartolomeo, which you can see here. Once Bartolomeo is complete, the crew members are going to go back to the COLCA and remove a cover. So the cover was installed in order to protect the antenna during installation. Since it's no longer needed, we are going to have EV2 jettison that cover while he's on the SSRMS. And once the activities are complete at the Columbus worksite, both crew members meet back up at the Quest airlock. They reconfigure some bags to take out with them for their next task, which is going to be out at the portmost section of the space station truss. They're going to be heading out to P6. You can see the translation path here. And the crew members are going to be removing an H fixture. So this H fixture is not needed on the solar arrays. So we're going to remove that H fixture. Both of them are going to be removing one of them. And this plate is going to be removed because it's going to be where a future upgrade of the solar arrays is going to be installed. So the plates are removed, put into a bag, and they will be brought back inside after the EVA. So once both crew members are complete with that, they both head back to the Quest airlock, and we have completed the planned tasks for the EVA. If there is some time at the end of the EVA, we will have some get-aheads for the crew to perform.
All right.
Just over 15 minutes into today's spacewalk. During today's spacewalk, NASA astronauts Victor Glover and Mike Hopkins will focus on completing cable and antenna rigging for the Bartolomeo Science Payloads platform outside of the European Space Agency Columbus module. The duo will also configure a Ka-band antenna that will enable an independent high-bandwidth communication link to European ground stations. After completing these upgrades on the Columbus module, Hopkins and Glover will remove a grapple fixture bracket on the far port truss of the station in preparation for future power system upgrades. The duo now working together to transfer the Kolka outside of the airlock.
Yeah, I come down on the lab. I'm on the starboard side of the SP2.
And Ike, once you get to the forward side of ESP2, looking for WIF 5, let us know if you want to temp stow Kolka, if you're going to keep it on BRT.
Will do. I'm going to try, but I'll let you know if I change that.
Copy.
And you have a view of NASA astronaut Victor Glover preparing to hop on the Canadarm 2 to take a ride over to Columbus. Meanwhile, Hopkins will make his way also over to Columbus via translation. And there's a view of Hopkins now making his way to the Columbus module.
WIF 5, I'm going to take a second. My safety tether is kind of running across Kolka.
Copy.
The crew tracking about 10 minutes ahead of the timeline this morning.
And Hopper, you're looking for handrail 0345. It's the first handrail after that gap spanner on node 2.
All right, Andy, I'm at 0911.
Copy. You can stow the crew lock bag and then leave one of the adjustables open.
Okay.
And your first task, Hopper, is to retrieve the 2 T-handle tools with the RETs and then install them over by the PDGF.
Roger.
Hopkins now at the Columbus module of the space station. He's going to perform some worksite setup in order to install the Kolka, or Columbus Ka-band antenna, which NASA astronaut Victor Glover will bring with him over to the Columbus module while he gets a ride on the Canadarm 2.
In motion. In motion. Continue.
Continue.
Okay, that's good. You can stop there.
Jumping out, stop motion.
Okay, and I'm ready to install the APFR.
Stand by.
Copy.
And Hopper, we see you working on the gap spanner. I take it T-handle tools were successfully installed and secured via pull test?
And that is affirmative. Good pull test.
Copy.
And the red is attached to 931.
Opposite motion.
Motion.
And as NASA astronaut Victor Glover works to ingress the APFR, or Articulating Portable Foot Restraint, in order to get a ride on the Canadarm2 over to the Columbus module, the International Space Station currently flying 260 statute miles over the west coast of Sudan.
And so, Ichi, that looks good. Stop motion there.
Stop motion.
GCA complete.
Ike, opposite motion.
Good motion.
And next for you, Hopper, is to install long wire ties on Columbus handrails 0932 starboard stanchion and 0933 aft stanchion.
And you're getting views of NASA astronaut Victor Glover as he makes his way over to the Columbus module of the International Space Station to meet up with Mike Hopkins. He's on the Canadarm flying 263 statute miles over the Caspian Sea. To the left of your screen there, the rectangular object, is what NASA astronaut Victor Glover is bringing with him over to the Columbus module of the space station in order to install it with NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins, who's waiting for him there.
And Ike, while you're flying, if you want to give us a glove inspection and hab check, we'd be happy.
Work. Nine 32 starboard stanchion 312.
Copy. Next is handrail 0933. That's port of the Zenith EPF, that external platform on Columbus.
Copy.
And you're looking for the aft stanchion.
Okay.
And Ike, big picture for you. First thing you'll do when you get to the Colca worksite is to release the MDPS bolts number 1 and 2.
DPS bolts 1 and 2.
NASA astronaut Victor Glover now making his way to the Columbus module of the International Space Station to meet up with Mike Hopkins. The space station is about to fly over Kazakhstan, which is where NASA astronaut Kate Rubins launched on October 14th. She's currently giving Victor Glover a ride over to the Columbus module on board the Canadarm2.
Hey, Ike. That's a beautiful view. Yeah. Hey, Andy, I'm at bolts 1 and 2.
Copy, Ike. You can grab your PGT and verify that you're still in Bravo 4, counterclockwise 2.
I'm in Bravo 4, counter 2, motor, 30% 3.5. I just turned it on. I'm going to calibrate.
Teams on the ground here in Mission Control are now assessing the installation of the first bolt. Meanwhile, you're still seeing a helmet cam view of NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins as he works on installing bolt number 2.
And turning.
All right, Ike and Hopper. We'd just like your help on assessing how well Kolka is installed. So if you can see if there's any wiggle in it and if it's flush with the surface of Columbus.
Okay, from the EV2 side, it's not wiggling. I cannot see the gap though, the interface. Well, if I look at the interface from EV1, bolt 4, right, I have a ret on the small hook side of the large small adjustable. I'm sorry, wait, say which adjustable? Is it the large small or the small? Small.
It's the small that the two hooks on the small should be going to the P1 and the P2 plug caps on cable bundle number 2.
NASA astronaut Victor Glover now making his way over to the Bartolomeo Science platform on board the Canadarm2. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins in control of the Canadarm2 inside the space station. Once Glover makes his way over to the Bartolomeo platform, he'll meet up with NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins, who's currently at the Bartolomeo platform. Hopkins is working on releasing cable clamps from the Bartolomeo Science platform. These clamps need to be removed and opened up in order to remove the cabling that needs to get routed in order to activate Bartolomeo.
And Ike, this is a published location.
Copy. Stay here for a second, GC complete.
GC complete.
Okay, coming underneath you, Ike. You got it. You're clear. Okay. And Andy, I did go ahead and release the 4 PA clamps as well.
Copy. The 4 TA clamps have been released. Thank you. And Hopper, once you've released your poor man's fair lead, then you can translate back down again to the port side of Bartolomeo, and we'll get that. We'll get your safety tether out of the way.
You want it to stay on that side? Yeah, that's okay. That's right where the port or rich man's is anyway. Perfect. Okay. No big change. Sweet.
NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins continuing to work through procedures to release clamps on the Bartolomeo Science platform.
With Hopper's location and his safety tether is clear, then you can go ahead and continue to the Bartolomeo back-off position.
You too. Does that safety tether look like? Good. Okay, EV1 is port. All right, Kate, so you have a go to publish.
Copy, go to publish. This will be a 2-minute maneuver to Bartolomeo back off. And Ike, we don't have a specific distance here, so I'm just going to take you in and we'll start with about a meter, but you can give me a call if you got a better number.
Okay, this is not a published?
Negative.
Okay, let's start with a meter. That sounds good.
All right, in motion.
The arm is in motion.
In motion. Okay, start motion.
Stop motion.
Oh, I see this. I see 10, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the remaining ones, Hopper? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. I do 13 later. Okay. I think I can reach all of those. So, and is released.
Copy 10.
This view from NASA astronaut Victor Glover's helmet cam as the duo works to remove clamps on the Bartolomeo science platform. These clamps need to be opened up and removed in order to remove the cabling that needs to get routed in order to activate Bartolomeo. As you can see here, the crew is working together to do just that.
And we're about 9 minutes away from sunset, but it's probably already getting dark where you are. And if you want, you can release your MWS ret from that adjustable to the caps. And then you can retrieve both coils of the PAPOS cables and keep the top coil closest to your body. And you can use your mini workstation end effector as needed. Copy.
And I there's your published.
Yeah, but go to continue to the next published.
Okay, that's your PAPOS midpoint. We're going to PAPOS connector panel now.
And Hopper, I think I saw you close was it all 4 TA clamps over by the PAPOS connectors?
Affirmative.
Copy. Then you can retrieve your PGT and we'll install clamp number 11 on the nadir side of Bartolomeo.
Roger.
And this is where we also want to verify that the cables...
Yep, I see them. Alright. On starboard of...
And Ike, ramping out motion here. Are you good for me to continue with the cables with Hopper?
Continue.
To continue.
You see the cables off? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are they still free? Yeah, they're still free. Okay.
Now over 2 hours and 30 minutes into today's spacewalk, our spacewalking duo of Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover continue to work through procedures in order to route cables on the Bartolomeo external science payload platform.
So you can try to mate it again, just checking the alignment and the side loads, and if you need to, you can push and pull on the back shelf and increase the force on the lever.
I will try all of that again. Try all of those things. I've got a handrail here on the end cone of Columbus that I'm using to react, and I'm putting a good bit of force into it. Hey, Kate and Sweet, we need some good vibes out here.
We're sending you vibes.
Thank you.
All right, Ike. Sorry to keep you waiting. We still don't have an exact plan yet, but in the meantime, we'd like you to demate the J6 terminator, and then you can mate P6 to J6.
I'll be demating the terminator and then mating J6, P6.
How is the motion?
Good motion. You.
Hey, Hopper, while Ike's flying the arm, we'd like you to ask you to grab the black cap keeper from Kolka. It should be up there by where the cable bundles were. And if you could grab that and transfer it over to the Papos connector panel, we'd appreciate it, because we'll need those caps there later, potentially if we need to leave anything capped.
Okay, copy that, in work. Cover removal. Fair?
Like this, we have 2 minutes to joke us. Absolutely.
Hopper, you can leave it if you want, but I shouldn't need it, so... but either way, we need to get it over to the crew lock bag at some point.
Roger that. Good motion.
Thank you. Good motion.
I left. Ike, do you want me to leave it or keep it? Leave it. Yeah, okay. Clear underneath you? Yes.
And Ike, once we get to the Colca back off, we've got a third one to go in for the Colca cover removal. If you're good, we'll do a little config and then take it in.
Okay. There it is. Okay. 30 more centimeters. Slowly toward my head, please.
Copy. 30 meters, 30 centimeters. And arms in motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
Continue.
Copy, continue.
NASA astronauts Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover continuing to work together to remove the Colca or Columbus Ka band antenna cover. This cover was placed in order to protect the antenna during installation. Because this cover is no longer needed, it will be jettisoned off of the Canadarm by NASA astronaut Victor Glover.
Copy, stop motion.
Okay, GCA complete.
Copy, GCA complete.
All right, when you're happy, Ike, Hopper can release the pin.
All right, I have the cover on the table. You have to go to release the pin. Roger.
And Ike, before you jettison the cover, you'll be retrieving the adjustable with the temporary MLI. So if at that point, you can also retrieve the large, small adjustable. If you can't hand it to Hopper, that's fine. You can just keep that on your mini workstation if you wanted to.
Okay. All right, Kate, Soichi, do we have a published? I've got the cover in the MLI, Hopper. Okay, you've got it.
And Ike, arms in motion.
Motion.
So, Ike, if you're needing...
Motion, continue. Motion, continue.
And Ike, we copy.
Good.
And Ike, if you need...
Motion, continue.
Ike, if you need another topic to talk about, we'll take a glove inspection and hab check from you.
Yeah, I'm using one of my hands right now. My hab is dry.
All right, Hopper, I think you got the P1 connected, right, and wire tied.
That's permanent.
Okay, you can mate P2 and wire tie that in the same manner, please.
How you doing, Ike? Doing well? All right. Steady read.
Copy, Ike.
Okay, good. Motion, continue.
Copy.
NASA astronaut Victor Glover now on the Canadarm2 being controlled by NASA astronaut Kate Rubins inside the space station.
Copy. I'm in no rush. Let's keep it burn.
Keeping it in burn.
NASA astronaut Victor Glover will Be on the Canadarm too as he jettisons the Kolka cover. Again, the Kolka is the Columbus Ka band antenna, and it had a cover on it which was removed a short time ago. The cover is no longer needed as it was used to protect the antenna during install, and because of this, it will soon be jettisoned.
Good, Ike. Doing great.
And we copy, Ike.
Good motion. Continue.
And Ike, almost there. Motion should be ramping out soon.
You two copy. Thanks.
And we copy or copy.
I copy. Your copy. It's my copy. Copy. Copy.
Giving me a warm feeling to hear your voice. All right, you're in position.
Okay.
This view of NASA astronaut Victor Glover as he prepares to jettison the Kolka or Columbus Ka band antenna as it is no longer needed.
Okay, here we go. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Either way, Kolka covers jettisoned.
And with that, the Kolka cover has been jettisoned.
Nice throw. We saw it up here.
For GCA now? Ready? Hey, you have a go to GCA to published.
The Ike GCA to publish, we're taking you back to ES.
As you just saw, NASA astronaut Victor Glover jettison the Kolka or Columbus Ka band antenna cover, which was removed earlier by Hopkins and Glover. This cover was no longer needed, and with the Kolka cover removed, European Space Control counterparts in Cologne can confirm good operation of the Kolka heaters. The teams have determined that the 4 Bartolomeo connectors are achieving a good electrical mate, but are physically prevented from locking in place. Hopkins is working to mate 2 of the 4 Bartolomeo power connectors and is applying wire ties to prevent them from being able to back out. He will demate and cap the remaining 2 connectors, and the final configuration will provide 0 fault-tolerant power to Bartolomeo.
Stand by for the brakes. Brakes are on and go for ABFR.
Hey, Hopper, real quick. If you could put a cap on P3 and P4, we'd appreciate it. We know it doesn't go on fully, so if you could take a long wire tie and use that to secure the cap to P3 and P4, we'd appreciate it.
And then it's attached also to an adjustable. And that adjustable has the wire tie caddy. And then it's also attached to the black cap keeper. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4. Caps on it. Outside of the bag are 2 adjustable small. And then I also have 1 large small ret that's attached to a D-ring inside.
Yep, I think that's everything. Sounds like a good inventory. So just the gap spanner is missing.
The gap spanner is missing, and the camera is sitting on a handrail, and I'll put that on me because I'll need it for each fixture.
Copy.
That's crew lock bag 4, right?
That's affirmed. Yep, so you can go ahead and grab crew lock bag number 4.
One to get 4. 2 and 3 attempts still on the circular handrail.
Copy.
SC4. Okay, Andy, the only thing I could be doing here is, potentially just using that long wire tie and, kind of finishing up the cleanup here on the wire ties, but if you guys aren't worried about the big loops putting around. I could put 1 twist on it and then
All right, Ike. So it's the pit pin with the loose lanyard should be on the forward hinge. And Ike, if you haven't done so already, you can put crew lock bag number 3 on your BRT.
Bag 3 on my BRT.
This view of NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins outside of the airlock as he works to set up the slingshot.
Close the thermal cover.
Over my waist tether.
Yeah, your waist tether will be coming through, that's right. But so if you want, you can leave it open or half close it.
If it's fine to close out, I'll shut it. Thermal cover's closed.
Thank you. Troubleshooting out there again.
Okay. EV2. E1.
So, Hopper, you can...
Okay, the waist tether back is back in the airlock on the internal circular D-ring. Egressing and shutting the thermal cover. Oh, I just want to rotate. Yep, I'm not having much luck either. I'm in different body position. Yeah, I went perpendicular to the handrail. I started.
So if you're having trouble with the pliers, we can try the wedge assemblies.
EV2, I don't think the wedge is going to be any better. They're going slowly. From EV2, can you see my WBS? Like rim, there's a ridge. I agree. It's kind of in the way of my plier. Alright, I'm at the slingshot.
Alright, so you can tether to Ike's safety tether cable, and then you can release his anchor hook and attach it to your red reel.
Oh. Andy, crew lock back 2, excuse me, 3, the UIA, U-ring.
Copy.
And I'm going out to get those 2 large small wrecks.
Copy.
Okay, EV2, this anchor hook is attached to my red reel. So close, try to lock on black, good pull tip. You want to just take it off your VRT? Yeah.
Now 6 hours and 43 minutes into today's spacewalk as NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins works to join fellow NASA astronaut Victor Glover in the airlock. Once in, they'll close the hatch and begin repressurization procedures.
All right, they're taking me out, Hopkins. We are EV2. We are starting the safer doffing and starting EV2. So Hopper, stand by.
Everyone.
Coming through the hatch first today, NASA astronaut Victor Glover. Mike Hopkins followed behind him.
You guys take care of step 4 of the call, right? Station Houston, step 4 is in work. Stand by. Okay, we'll be standing by. Sorry, you can continue, but we're working step 4. Okay, we'll continue.
With the completion of today's spacewalk, we have some updated statistics. This was the 233rd spacewalk in support of ISS assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. This is the first spacewalk of 2021 and the second spacewalk of Expedition 64. This was the third spacewalk of Hopkins' career. His total spacewalking time now 19 hours and 54 minutes. This was the first spacewalk of Victor Glover's career. His total spacewalking time now 6 hours and 56 minutes. Today's spacewalk lasted a total of 6 hours and 56 minutes, and it brings the total spacewalking time on the International Space Station to 61 days, 1 hour, and 47 minutes of total spacewalking time.